Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So 2023-2024 was an absolutely epic year for us. The best season we've ever had. And today we're going to recap the whole thing, muddy puddle by muddy puddle. So the season started earlier than we've ever started before, with Tri-Dog at the end of September. We didn't enter the triathlon. Those of you who know the channel know water is not our friend. So we just did the CaniX. It was tough. The race is slightly longer than 5k, like 5.2k, because you have to run through all the transition bits. But it was an amazing start to the season. Not anywhere near our fastest, but still good enough for second place. We followed that up straight away with another trip around Box End, this time for the CaniX Midlands season opener. Although for CaniX Midlands the temperatures were a bit hot, although cooler than Tri-Dog the week before, which meant, fortunately for us, we were on the short course, so it was a different course for Dizzy to kind of tackle rather than running the same course 4 times in 2 weekends. And the short course at Box End is actually quite fun. Got a nice little uphill start. I weirdly quite like an uphill start, and then some twisty woods, the woods of doom, where I ate my body weight in flies. But in all, the Sunday we had our best run of the season. Really nice and quick, mostly at team record pace. From there was a short little break, which was good because it meant we could get back into full season training. Not a lot of events in our part of the world in October, so we had to wait until the next CaniX Midlands event at Ulster. And oh my god, it turned out to be a bit of a foreshadower for how the rest of the season was going to pan out. It was an absolute mud bath, the toughest conditions we've ever raced in. Muddy, raining. I really wasn't sure whether Dizzy would actually run, but he surprised me for the first time this season, and he ran an absolute blinder. We ended up getting in a really good race with Poppy and Spring, and we had a really great race weekend. Got to get down this hill now. We had another short break after that in the build up to our first ever British Championships, with round 1 being at Thetford. And day 1 we came flying out the blocks, ran our fastest ever kilometre, 3 minutes and 4, and finished in a then season's best of 18:30, which was only 13 seconds off our team record. It then got even more epic on day 2 when Dizzy got in the race with Dolly the Eurohound. If you haven't seen our full BSSF recap of the whole series, then go check that out. Then straight after Christmas we were back with the second round of the Nationals up in Dalby Forest. Again, the most challenging course we've seen, just in terms of the surface. It was so hard, too hard for Dizzy, but we managed to wrap him up in boots that we borrowed from Coach. And again, to my surprise, for the second time this season, he absolutely smashed it and took on the race, flying around the stones, which he's never ever done before, and rocketing us to an 8th place at a national championship race. No rest though, straight on with CaniX Midlands, Solihull. We'd done this course the year before and absolutely loved it. 2-lap course, which is a real challenge for the dogs, but it's so enjoyable because you get to race amongst people, friends, who you don't normally get to see on the race course because of the seeding. So you get to see them on your second lap as you work your way through the traffic, which is great fun. Again, super muddy, which made it really tough. Oh my God! I didn't bring any spare socks. So we put in a great shift to get around in under 19 minutes. Again, no rest. The following weekend we were back out racing and back at the fastest race of our calendar year last year, and it was going to be the fastest of this year. We're back at High Lodge, Thetford, for the Raw Trails Canicross series. Now running a sub 19 through the mud the previous week, running around Dalby at team record pace, even though the course was shorter, and our 18:30 at Thetford, I knew we were in pretty good shape to try and run a team record and even try and dip below 18 minutes. Again, Dizzy absolutely smashed it, banging out such even kilometres on pace the whole way. So much so that we had Thor the Eurohound in tow and just banging out such nice paces for the kilometres that they just sat on our tail and we towed them to a new PB. Now, speaking of team records, we smashed ours. We got round, well, we were through 5k in 18:07, which is a 10-second team record, and we managed to take second place, slightly guttingly, by less than half a second away from first. But it turns out these things come in swings and roundabouts. We then had another little break in the lead up to the final round of the BSSF at Hinton Admiral. We headed there early Feb, and we were greeted with one of the most fun courses we raced on this season. Certainly the most fun course of that series. Check out more about what happened in the race on the video for that. But Dizzy absolutely smashed it. We flew off a line, flew around all the technical twists and turns, and we managed to finish with a 5th place in the National Championships, which gave us an overall ranking of inside the top 10 in Great Britain, which I am absolutely over the moon with. Dizzy was fastest Dalmatian as well, so that was definitely mission accomplished for our first experience of the National Championship series. The following weekend again, we were back out and we headed back to one of our favourite races from last year, the Newnham, to celebrate Dizzy's 4th birthday. Last year we were treated with stunning weather for it. This year we got the full Newnham experience. It absolutely chucked it down. It became one of the toughest races of the season we had to battle through, but Dizzy showed a lot of heart and got us round still on a really tough course. Straight on from that, we've been busy this season, really, haven't we? Straight on from that, we were over to Western Burt Arboretum for our first CaniX race of the season. Absolutely stunning surroundings, which, because of snow on the day before, snow turned into a one-day special, and Dizzy put on an absolute overtaking masterclass, and he got us round in just a smidge over 19 minutes, which was great for a muddy course, working through 2-dog traffic. Another really good run. And then we were in the final run in of the season. Speaking of final runs in, yep, let's go. Good. had an absolutely epic Easter weekend. 4 races, 4 days, 2 countries, unfathomable amounts of mud, unfathomable amounts of water, and a race that I will never, ever, ever forget. We started off at CaniX Midlands Easter Spectacular. Super tough, super muddy course around Catton Hall. We put in a good run through the mud on the Friday. The Saturday though was not Dizzy's race. He was not a fan of all that mud. Very tough to get him going. He obviously was not comfortable around that course. Wasn't comfortable with some of the dogs coming past him. Yeah, so he wasn't having a great time. So we made the decision to not race the Sunday, but instead switch courses to the Fur Nations in Pembury, where we were greeted with an amazing course, the funnest course we've had this season, but also the wettest course. Dizzy had to overcome his fear of deep puddles containing crocodiles potentially and all other sorts of Welsh sea life. We had such a good run, and it really lifted my spirits to know that we'd done the right thing by switching courses. We then stayed in Pembury for what was going to be the original plan, was to head over there on the Monday for the most epic race you can ever imagine, the CaniX Fur Nations beach race. 1 mile out, 1 mile back, along one of the biggest beaches in the UK, 150 dogs all together in a mass start. The noise was unbelievable. I will never ever forget that race. Dizzy put in an absolutely amazing time, got us round in about 11 minutes or so, in one of our fastest races that we've actually run this season as well. But we weren't quite finished there. We still had 1 more race. And actually, as things are wrapping up for our season in this video, it's quite fitting that we are sat in the Land Rover / YouTube studio, as this is our final adventure in this car. It goes today. We will have a new team van arriving this week, so yeah, I'm emotional about it too, mate. So it's quite fitting that our final run and our final part of the season is explained from this viewpoint. We headed up to Cannock Chase for the Fur Nations to finish our season off. We were greeted with a really fun but technical, challenging course. I've never been up and down so many hills in 5k, but 2 epic days of racing and an amazingly well-timed sprint finish from Dizzy. Remember when I said these things come in swings and roundabouts? Well, we had an absolutely epic race on the final day, and it came down to the final sprint finish, and we managed to nab 3rd place by 1/10 of a second. So we finished our season off with a podium, which took our haul of podiums for the season to 2 seconds and a 3rd. So a good haul for the season, considering the standard of race that we've entered this year has been considerably upped. We've taken on much more competitive, tough races. So it's been an absolutely epic season. I'm absolutely delighted with how Dizzy has progressed this year. That shows some good dedication to our training that we put in the first half of the year, but then also massive thank you to Coach. She has got us running the best together that we have ever run, and it's going to be super exciting to carry on next year and see if we can actually win a race. That might be quite cool. But yeah, what a season. He's progressed so far. He's surprised me so many times. Super proud of him. We've learned so many new skills. We've learned running in boots. We've rediscovered our interval training. We've run a team record. We've finished with a 5th place in a national championship race. We finished 9th in Great Britain. If I'd put those as goals in September, I would have felt a little bit, I don't know, I'd have felt weird putting those goals out there because I felt they may have been too lofty. Make sure if you've enjoyed this season and you've enjoyed this video, then smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. We've got loads of really cool stuff happening over summer. We're gonna have lots of tips videos as well. So you're definitely gonna want to keep in touch over the summer. Let us know which your favorite race that we took on this year was down in the comments. I'd love to hear which your favorite one was and why. And then me and Dizzy we'll see you on the next one.